Representatives were here in Budapest, Puskas Arena Stadium, to cover this year's UEFA Europa League Final. As you can see, we're ready to start the press conference of the first finalist, AS Roma. We're glad to have here with us head coach Jose Mourinho. We will just wait for the microphone from our volunteers to arrive. Present yourself, the name and organization, and there is simultaneous translation in English, Hungarian, Italian, and Spanish. So we can start. Take the first question here, first row, please. First row.
Buonasera mister.
Ciao, ciao.
La Roma arriva qui a Budapest dopo un
Gaffer,
percorso.
Roma come here to Budapest after a very long and winding, tortuous road, but you know that you've also deserved the chance to be involved in this final. Absolutely. It's been a long road, you're right. And it's been a different route here compared to our opponents who have dropped into this competition from the Champions League. But if I'm not mistaken, we have played 14 matches to make it here. So there's absolutely no doubt we deserve to be here. That's why last week during the media open day we said that we wanted to play this final, we deserve to play this final. And now this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been working towards over the last 2 or 3 days to make sure that we are in a position to be able to fight for this trophy. Good evening, Roberto Maida, Corriere dello Sport. I wanted to ask you the following. You said that history doesn't go out there on the pitch because history doesn't matter in matches such as these. But with all of these kids here at Roma that can secure history, how can you keep a lid on the enthusiasm, the excitement? I think we can do so by working hard. We haven't had that much time available to do so, because over the last 2 months we've played a whole host of matches in the league, semi-finals, we've had injuries. It's not like we've had a great deal of time to actually work on the training ground. It's been more a case of resting up and trying to actually do as well as we could in those matches involved. But over the last 2 days, I don't think there'll be that much pressure. As I've said, history doesn't go out there on the pitch, and I've got a lot of respect for Mendilibar. History makes Sevilla favourites, and that's an opinion that needs to be respected. We're in this final because we deserve to be here. They have a history that we don't have. They have experience that we don't boast. Playing a Europa League final for Sevilla has almost become run-of-the-mill, par for the course. As for Roma, it's an extraordinary event. For their fans, it's almost the same travelling to a away game in Spain. It's the same thing when they travel to a European final, whereas for us, it's an extraordinary, unforgettable experience. But tomorrow, when the game starts, we want to be out there, and we will be there. Good evening. 13 years ago, you won the treble in Madrid with Inter, and that evening we realized that you were leaving the club. Given there's such a great atmosphere between the fan base and Mourinho, is it not a case of that Mourinho might win a trophy and then head off, and that might take some of the joy out of the event? I think if anyone else has a similar question to yours, I think you need to ask Mendilibar, because I don't think he has a contract. And I think his situation is more complex than mine. I've spoken with my 2 captains who will come here to address the media. I've spoken to them, and they asked me a very similar question to yours. Clearly, I was very objective in my answer to them. I don't want them to say what has been said, because that's between me and my team, but they are perfectly aware of what I think. But there's a big difference between the situation I had when I was at Inter. I hadn't actually signed a contract with Real Madrid at that stage, even though the deal was done. But at this moment in time, I've had no contact with any other clubs. And that's why we're talking about a completely different situation. Besides that, I'm not bothered about that. What matters is us, us, us. And tomorrow, it will be all about us. And that's how I want to play. We want to play.
In front here, the gentleman. Thank you.
Mourinho, buonasera. Massimo Ciccognani, Football Press.
Good evening. A colleague was referencing Madrid a moment ago. This morning I spoke to some friends and colleagues in Madrid who said that Sevilla are a great team, but Roma have something extra. They have the edge. That edge is Jose Mourinho. That's just a message I wanted to tell you. In terms of the esteem, how highly you're rated, because people still love you in Madrid. I love Madrid. It's a rather unique experience. I love the president so much, and I love the head coach as well. So you can imagine what my relationship is like with Madrid, the Madrid fans, and Real Madrid as a club. But the coach doesn't go out there to play. The coach does a great deal of work before the game and very little during the game itself. As I've said to the lads and the assistants, the match analysts who have spent so many hours working over the last few days, I said to them after the training session, our job is done, in inverted commas. Now we're just there to try and help them a little bit. But ultimately, it's the lads, the players, who make history. The colleagues from Madrid are right when they say that Sevilla are a great team. I would go further than that. I would say they have two great teams. Because they have 25 or 26 top-class players. They have a kid, Blanco, who's the only one from the youth team that played in the last match against Real Madrid. Besides that, they are all top-class professionals, experienced quality footballers. They have lots of options available. And what your colleagues from Madrid have said, I completely agree with that with regards to Sevilla. However, they don't know my guys. Essentially, they are not familiar with what my team is all about as a unit. And my team will be out there tomorrow night.
Questions more. Here, gentleman on the second row, please. And then we take one from this side, probably here. Yeah. And we continue with the players.
Mister, buenas tardes. Soy Jorge Liaño del Desmarque y Mediaset. Aunque ya ha hablado algo en italiano, le pregunto, en un partido como este,
I speak Italian. I'll ask in Spanish. In a game like this, it's a lot of how important is the experience of a coach? You have bigger experience than Mendilibar, of course. What do you think about that? Don't you say that Roma's coefficient is higher than Seville? It's funny, but because of with the players that it was the budget with the kind of players that Sevilla's got, I don't believe that Roma's budget is higher. You know, we're only talking about top class players. We've got kids who last year is to play in our B team, like you say in Spain. If these kids from the B team, Zalewski, Bove, Karovic, etc., if they earn less than Lamela, Montiel, and Nasiri, etc., it means they are poorly paid. I just don't believe Roma has a bigger budget. But still, in my experience, or as for my experience and Mendilibar's experience, I've had I've had more chances to play in Europe, but we're talking about two coaches that belong to the same generation, who have the same amount of years of experience, with the same, kind of grey hair. So me and Mendilibar, I think we are pretty much level, in a very similar situation. As for players, it's more or less the same. They obviously are a bit older, they have more experience, they have more finals in their legs, but my players are here with nothing. You know, we've been working together for 2 years. We've got 29, 30 Europa League games in 2 years. We are little angels that are going to arrive at the final tomorrow.
My name is...
Sorry. We have one question, please.
Hi, Jose. My name is Omar Katuba. I represent BeanymanSports.com, Nigeria, where you are very famous. And a lot of people are rooting for you already. You are in your second European final with AS Roma. First, how does it feel to be in your second final, considering the club's history, I beg your pardon, and your history? At Tottenham, it was very difficult, and I asked you in Leipzig that it was going to be a difficult job. You didn't win a trophy. Now you're winning in Rome. What are they doing in Rome that is different from what they did in Tottenham or at Tottenham?
In Roma, they didn't sack me before the final in Tirana. And in Tottenham, they sacked me before the final at Wembley. Roma gave me the chance to win the final at Tirana. And at Tottenham, I had no chance.
Thank you. I will continue with the players.
Ciao, ciao.